Yeah, I remember this. And so he's obviously got a lot of time here coming downhill.
This is a power play too.
Yep, the way that we play our penalty kill, and Halsey does a good job here. Our guy in the flank here, he does a good job. We always say that take away the far side of the net, make him shoot short side. That way, if I do have to look around the screen in front, I can always take the short side lane. And
Is that pretty common? As teams figure out that philosophy, that seems to be not an absolute, but somewhat common. Like, hey, short side lane for the goalie. You're going to have bodies in the middle lane to block.
Absolutely, and I think that's what everyone tries to do. But again, guys are good shooters. They figure it out, and they'll shoot through sticks, they'll shoot through legs, and they're going to make plays too. So it happened later on in this game where Kadri ended up shooting around him and went far side on me, and that was their goal. So sometimes it doesn't always work out, but in situations like this, it just gives the goalie a good spot to set up. If I know that in our system, it's hopefully not going to go far side, I know I can look short side around the screen and get my sight line from there. So that's what I'm trying to initially do here. Their guy in front actually does a good job of making me look inside initially, and then end up having to change shoulders here at the last minute. So that's just, again, tracking through the screen, finding the release point first, finding the trajectory of the shot, and just kind of pushing into it, because it's not going to be clean. You're just trying to get everything you can behind it. I don't even see this puck hit my blocker.
But you saw the release.
But I saw the release point, I see the trajectory, and I see the speed of the shot all in about a split second there. And then it's just coming through and putting your body in front of, where you hope it's going to go. Obviously, if he tips it, that's something that you can't control. But if I can find the release point initially off that and just kind of push into it.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask you again. Just visualize help here.
I honestly think so. Yeah, this is one of those things.
This is a visual edge save, you think?
I think we could call it that. Yeah. Again, is finding that release point, all those things that go into a split second shot. I mean, these guys release it so quickly now, and that was a pretty good shot. High blocker, short side, through a screen, and I was able to just track it, knew exactly where it was going to end up, and just kind of pushed into it from there.
Okay. And we actually end up with another shot here.
Yeah, another short side. So now we got a flash screen here, and he ends up going short side again. So I'm looking, I see the release point. The Calgary guy in front goes through my eyes. But again, I see the initial release. I know how high it is off the ice. And again, I just kind of push to that side, get with my blocker again.
Wow. That's all of a save.
But again, did you see how long he waited to release that puck? He was waiting. Like, he could have shot it for about 3 seconds before that, but he was waiting for his teammate to go through my eyes before he released it. If you watch this clip again, it's a smart play by Weegar here. He waits.
Because if he shoots here, this is the can of corn.
Yeah, he knows that he's
not can of corn, but
no. I mean, he can obviously rip it. He's got a one-timer over here, so I can't take too much ice in case he passes it, and so I kind of stay locked in on him. I know he's an option over here, but watch how long he takes to release this. Such a smart play on his part.
He's watching.
He's watching. He knows that as soon as this guy goes through and takes my eyes, that he's got a much better chance to score. Great execution by them, but I was able to come up with a save.
This
There we go.
That's Joseph coming in. So again, you're reading the play. I'm square to the shooter. I like, again, I got Giroux going backside. I got my D-man going down. I got a little bit of that backwards flow. He pulls it now around this D-man. I know I have a great read on what Giroux is doing, where he's going. I mean, just the patience here. I mean, it would have been so easy to just start panicking. I mean, it's a right now it's almost like a 2-on-0.
Right.
So Joseph makes a nice play around him. But I'm set up. I'm in a position where, if he shoots this, I'm fine. And he ends up making a nice play backdoor. And I stay patient. If I'm going down here, if I'm just starting to hit the panic button, the 911 button, I put myself in trouble. But I'm about as patient as I can get here. Again, knowing where Giroux is as a righty, I'm middle of the crease. It's not a huge movement. but I'm able to get that pad down. I'm able to make a good save on a tough play.
A really tough play. Like I was so impressed with the patience, but also, like you said, even when he makes the pass, you don't just spread
Hmm.
and pitch forward. There's still a drop the pad and push there.
Yep. And my, right here, my stance, I take a little shuffle.
Yeah.
And I don't get too wide, and I find that when I'm in that sort of stance there, when my feet are under me, it gives me more patience. It gives me more time. Um, and so, he makes a nice play around that defenseman, around Van Riemsdyk. Makes a nice pass here to Giroux, but having the reading the play, seeing what's coming down, what's in front of me, knowing where he's at, be able to make a nice save there.
You're almost like it's almost like you're over square on him as he pulls around, like your chest is almost at the dot,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you
yeah,
you just sort of flatten it out on the push. It's
yeah. You can see I just got a little bit of that momentum there. Square up. I'm not I'm not in the white paint. Yeah, great depth to give myself a chance to, if he shoots that, I can make that save. And when he makes that pass, and you can see the pucks right there, defenseman does a good job. But yeah, the depth sets me up too, because I'm able to give myself a chance to make that backdoor save.
where does that rank on the highlight reels this year?
That's up there. I'd say that's probably in the top five.
It's a hell of a save. Especially,
Yeah,
it's even more impressive when you slow it down and watch how patient you are.
yeah, yeah. The patience I have there is, it gives me the advantage.
So he's turning up. So right now I should be in like a pretty upright stance with like my stick off the ice because he's not a threat. He's not shooting it at all.
Okay.
And then even with this guy, so now he gets it, and I should still be a little bit upright. He's not really a threat. And then I should just now. So here I am. I'm just now starting to get down low because now here he comes, and he can go on his back.
Okay, let's talk entries as we watch Jackson Parsons of the Kitchener Rangers versus the Erie Otters. Oh no, this is the Flint Firebirds. Sorry. Now these look the same, but they're different. Can you spot why? All right, this is every once in a while you get a couple of videos that are excellent teaching clips, and this is one of them. So this is an entry, right? 2-on-1, right? 2-on-1. And it's going to be an entry keep, and we got right-hand shot, left wing. Okay? So, what's your read? Your read as a goalie is, what options does this guy have, right? This is a scoring chance well inside the dot. All right? What is your read, right? Is he passing? Is he shooting? Right? Does he have an option to pass? What is your D taking away, right? So, I like this. The D kind of stays up in the ice enough. The other read is this Kitchener player is coming back, influencing some pressure on the weak side guy, in this case 28, presenting his stick for a backhand tip. But what's your read as a goalie, all right? So when you see Jackson come in here, all right, he's down set, ready to receive, right? Let's get rid of this. Down set, ready to receive, very good, but what's he doing? Right? He is basically holding his position, right? Because his read is the guy shooting, and that read is made because he does not believe this guy is open because his defender is taking him away. So no need to sink here, okay? So that's a hold, right? So this is an entry. Entry, down set, ready to receive no matter what we're doing, and then you can hold your position. All right, and let's go to the next one, which happened... right? And this is a little different, right? So this is another entry. Now this is left-hand shot, left wing. All right. Now what's your read, right? Your other read is this guy. Is this guy open? 100% he's open, right? So This is not as well defended by your teammates. So what's that force you to do? All right, the puck is basically at the same spot, right? Almost in the same area, but what's changed? What's changed is this guy's open. So what do you have to do to protect yourself? What do you have to do? You have to have a little sink in your play. So see where Jackson is here? So see, toes are just below top of the crease here. All right, see his toes are just above the top of the crease. All right, good. Let's clear this. And then when he makes his save, he's well inside the crease because he has a little sink. And why would he sink here? You got to protect the net. So if the shooter has an option to pass, which it looks like he does, right? Because nines beat the defender. Nines beat the defender. You have to have a little sink in your play, and you have to have an ability to play both, right? So, A is the shot. Let me see if I can get my drawing going. Right? A is the shot. And then let's change colors. And then B is the pass. Sorry, it's a bad B. Looks like an 8, but that's right. So you got to play A before B, and to do that, you have sink in your play. This is just smart, intelligent goalie, right? So in the first one, he could hold because that's what his read on the play was. And this one, he needs sink because there is a passing option. How do you do that? You just have a little bit of sink in your play. But same thing, down set, ready to receive, right? You're on angle, right? So you retreat on angle. So the puck, the middle of you, the middle of the net's all in one line. You just have a little sink in your play, and you have to have an ability in goaltending to make saves moving backwards, all right? Can you make saves moving backwards, all right? And we get into save fundamentals. I see a support side. I see a save side. It's harder to get your head save side early when you're backing up, but at the end, what do you see? What do you see? Head save side. Eyes are right on. Well done, Jackson Parsons. All right, this is take number 9, the rebound recovery off a screen situation, a high-low, and now the rebound. So let's get into this. There's so many good things in here. So let's set it up. We've already talked about the screen. Leave your feet on the angle, right? Leave your feet on the angle. Look short side. Good. Here's the high-low play, a little deflection, stick in the middle, make the save. So now we spit out the rebound, not the goalie's fault. So let's understand where the puck is right there, right? And it is going out towards the dot, all right? And then the D is going to cross the net and get a second chance or off this deflection, okay? So how do we recover? So let's set up. So this save is really good, okay? This is really good. Spine straight up and down, all right? So what you want to do is you want your head to lead the recovery. You want to drive your head towards the puck. That's all we're going to do. We're going to drive our eyes and our head towards the puck. And what that's going to set up is going to give you a little bit of a lean like this into it. So you want to lean into it. However you want to say it. Lean into it. Drive your head towards the puck. And what that does, it starts to set up your recovery route. So as Nate drives his head, right? See his head turn? That's driving your head. And it starts to turn the shoulders, okay? Starts to turn the shoulders, sets up the lean, and it drags the back shoulder with you. So we're looking at the back shoulder here, and what that allows you to do is get squarer quicker. Okay, say that fast. Squarer quicker. All right, and all we're trying to do, we're trying to go from here and get our crest on the middle of the new angle as quickly as we can. That's all we're trying to do. All right, so we're trying to go from here. And then when this guy's going to shoot the puck, that's the new angle, correct? That's the new angle. We are trying to get our crest over there. And you can see how early Nate gets there. This is really well done, but there's some fundamentals that help him. So there's the save, right? Drive our head, sets up our recovery angle, right? So there's a natural turn of the shoulders. You want to set up your route. You want to get your left skate. We're watching our left skate here. right? Let's circle this. Let's watch a left skate, right? It gets in front of your shoulder. As you're driving your head, it sets up your recovery route, and you're going to slide at an angle, right? You're going to slide at an angle back towards the post. So once you get to here, so once you get your route all settled, right, and this is happening real quick, you got a couple of decisions to make. Now, the one we're going to talk about right now is what do we do with our hands, right? What do we do with our lead hand, in this case, the blocker? There's two things you can do with it. You can stick it out and try to catch up, or you can leave it in the holster, or leave it tighter to your body, if you will. Leave it in your holster, and then use it if you need it at the end. All right. The preferred way is to leave it in the holster. The guys that stick their hands, the guys that do this, stick it out and try and catch up. All you're doing is creating a hole between the end of your reach and your hip. It's just a hole. Okay, that's all it is. So preferably leave your hands in the holster, tighter to your body, and you can see how Nate does this really well, because when he gets over it, look at the blocker now. So because he left it in the holster, stick gets in position, right? Stick gets in position. Nice. It's just like he's just in a perfect down stance. This is really, really good. So the next thing we got to, let's get rid of that. The next thing we got to talk about, all right? So we've leaned into it. We've set up a recovery route. We got our foot in front of our shoulder. We're pushing at an angle back to the post. We've left our hand in the holster. Now, what do we do with our lead skate? Your next decision is, do we drive that into the post, or do we have it go in front of the post? I prefer the front of the post because, like I said before, all we're trying to do is get our crest on the middle of the new angle, right? If you drive your foot into the post, it stops your upper body from getting on angle. It stops your upper body from getting where it should be. It stops your crest from getting in the middle of the new angle, all right, and throws you off balance. So most guys that drive their foot into the post end up with their chest down, right? And if the rebound is elevated at all, it is usually in. And you can see how fundamentally good this is, because Nate chooses, right, so we got all the recovery stuff good, leaves the hand in the holster. He's going to choose to put his skate in front of the post, and he arrives in really good goaltending position. This is protecting that right here. The player elevates the puck, and he's able to go up and get it, right? And he does this so well, he's actually ahead of it a little bit. And I'm telling you, that's a nice problem to have. We can slow you down. It's really hard to speed you up. All right, he's in really, really good goaltending fundamental position right here, and is able to go up and get it. If the goalie stuck his hand out and tried to catch up, and or drove his skate into the post, which some coaches prefer, he would not be able to make this save here. All right, so he can do it all. This is a really, really excellent clip by Nate Krawchuk of the Sudbury Wolves. Let's talk East-West scoring situations as we watch Nathan Day of the Flint Firebirds, a 6th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers from the 2023 NHL entry draft, make 2 East-West saves. First one was low. This one's going to be high. All right, so let's get into the details. Let's move it all the way back. This is going to come off an entry, okay? So 11's going to gain the line, stop up. Now he's going to make an east-west pass, right, to this guy. He's going to take it down here a little bit, and then he's going to make a low east-west pass, something like that, okay? So that's a detail. So what is the footwork on east-west passes? First, on entries, what do you see from Nathan? All right, love the depth, okay? Absolutely love the depth. Here's Nathan right there. You can see, right, you can see feet out of the crease. This is really good, all right? So versus entries, got to establish a nice high position. And basically, what do you see out of Nathan? All right, down set, ready to receive. Telling you kids, success leaves clues. All right, so he's ready. All right, so now how do we get across? All right, I want you to watch the east-west footwork. It's all going to be the same, okay? Right now we're watching Nathan's right foot. So, all right, so this is going to be a right foot C cut. So why right foot C cut? So on this right foot C cut, it does two things. One, it squares you up. Okay, so Nathan's now square, but he's not on angle, so he squares you up. Right, the right foot C cut transfers the weight right to the left to his left skate. Sorry, let's get a circle there. Transfers his weight to his left skate, and all he needs to do is to push across and get on angle. So he squares up first, pushes, gets on angle, perfect. Okay, so that's the first one. So what's Nathan doing? He's just protecting the net. So he went from a nice high depth, right, skates out of the crease. This C cut, you got to get in the middle of the new angle first, ends up half crease, perfect. All's Nathan doing here is applying a protect the net theory in how to play. So he wants to get in the middle of the new angle, protect the net. If they shoot it, we would like you to stop it. So this player is going to take the puck a little deeper because this D, let's change colors here. This D right here does a really good job of taking away a higher pass. All right, so he stalls it a bit. Nathan reads that. All right, so now how do you play low east-west? All right, so low east-west, shoulders are always more respectful to the puck than your feet. Okay, see that? Shoulders more respectful to the puck than your feet. Your feet are basically flat. Your shoulders are somewhat square. Really good. All right, so Nathan has patience. He waits. He's by this position here, he's just protecting the net. He's gotten closer to the net on this little dump pass, this low east-west pass to 77. He's in perfect position, makes a great save. All right, now Flint can't clear. That stuff happens. Now, what do you see? Right back up, right back up. Now, here's the first east-west pass. So this is going to be a right foot C cut, left foot over, okay? Right foot C cut, left foot over, ends up over here. All right, so very good. All right, what's your route on east-west passes? All right, you want to get middle first. All right, this right foot C cut squares you up, push to get on angle. Your route is middle first and then out. Okay, all right, and then there's a pass back, so you just repeat the process. This is left foot C cut, right foot over. All right, so Nathan gets square, pushes to get on angle. By that time, 5's already one touched it back, so just repeat the process, right? Right foot back, left foot over, all right? And there is your middle first and then out on that pass. Now he's set. All right, so that's 3 passes, right? And then on the 4th pass, that's going to end up in the scoring chance. What do you see here, all right? What do you see here? Left foot C cut, what's that do? Squares you up, transfers your weight to the right foot, and you push to get across, and he makes a great save. Now, here's the question of the day. All right, and this is what you have to practice. If you're a skate in the post guy, which happens, all right, then you're going to have to lean your body over to get in the middle of this new angle. See, as the puck is just leaving the stick here, if I can draw a line, all right, that's kind of the angle. We're trying to get our spine, our crest, the middle of our body on that line. That's what we're trying to do. And if you are a skate into the post guy, what that does is stops your crest, stops your spine, stops the middle of your body from getting the middle of that angle, and you have to lean. Okay, so I'm a lead skate in front of the post guy. I'm not saying you always have your skate in front of the post or you never have your skate in front of the post. All right, I understand why Nathan would put his skate in the post on this one because there's multiple east-west passes and this is extremely hard. All right, but extremely well played. All right, so then boom, so he makes a save because it's a low shot, so he gets away with it. And then the other part of this, which you have to understand, is what does this guy see? All he sees is the empty net. And I'm telling you, kids, I've watched 1,000 of these plays. Most guys put it right in the middle, and that's all this guy does. Right? He puts it right in the middle of the net. So if we can get in the middle of the new angle as quick as we can with great routes and great footwork as Nathan does, right, that's really good. So let's talk eyes. Let's go all the way back here. Let's talk eyes and routes. So on this first pass, right, pass doesn't beat the eyes. There's your route to the new angle, right? Right. Pass doesn't beat the eyes. There's the route to the middle of the new angle, right? It comes out here, We establish a nice high position. Pass doesn't beat the eyes. Watch his head, right? Pass doesn't beat the eyes. So your eyes and your foot almost move at the same time. So I can see the right foot C-cut and the eyes working together. Pass doesn't beat the eyes. There's your route, right? Quickest way to the middle of the new angle. On the pass back, just repeat it. I see the left foot and the eyes working together. Pass doesn't beat the eyes. There's the middle of the new angle. Oh, one touches it back. We hit the brakes. Good footwork. Hits the brakes. Very good. Now it's right foot back. Doesn't beat the eyes. Middle of the new angle. And on this one, pass doesn't beat the eyes. Look at the eye work here. Look at his head. All right, look at it. Sorry, let's get a good circle here. Look at his eyes. On this thing, great route to the middle of the new angle. Are you a skate in front of the post or a skate into the post guy? You got to practice both. But that's really well done by Nathan Day of the Flint Firebirds, who also is a 6th round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. Well done.
That slide plate, I think that's another thing that we really haven't touched on.
Yeah.
It's the next evolution. You know, when they brought out carbon fiber sticks as opposed to the wood sticks, people were like, whoa, what is this? What is this? I think this is just that next step in evolution where it just makes sense. It makes sliding so much easier. Doesn't matter how rough the ice is. And you get used to it. There's a learning curve. Like, it feels like you're really fast out there, but then, and once you get used to that speed, it's easier. It's not as much of a toll on your body.
Do you feel like it's, I don't want to say added years, but do you feel like physically it's been easier because you don't have to push as hard to get where you need to go? Is that, am I overstating that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, if I were to go out there and skate for 20 minutes, could I tell a difference of, like, with or without a slide plate? Maybe not. Like, on my body, like you wake up the next day, probably not. But if you're playing in, a game and you have 50 shots, goes into a shootout, and you make a save, and that slide plate gets you across the ice that much faster, and you win the game. And then the next day you wake up, like, it's impossible to, like, compare the two exactly without. But I think for sure it's not as much of a toll on your body because there's less drag. Like, I've seen guys melt candle wax and put it on the inside of their pads to make it slide better, whereas this is it's a little piece of plastic that goes on the pad that eliminates drag, and so it works.
Welcome back. We're taking another look at the Warrior G7 pad and some of the new features on it. Today we're going to turn it around, have a look at the leg channel on the inside as we open up the Velcro strapping, and see a calf pillow. Fully removable, but as thick as it is, really soft and cushiony, especially on those outer layers. And so tapered as well, so it kind of runs in this way. Gives you the ability to really build a connection through the shin of the pad, through this, and also this pillow that's built in to the back of the channel. Trevor Gorsuch in the ECHL went so far as to tell us that the connection he feels in the shin of this pad when he does it up tight with this calf pillow reminds him of his old Vaughn Velocities, which is saying quite something given how thin and modern and stiff from the thigh rise up this pad feels. But you really can dial it in and get connected. And that said, not everybody wants that. Some people want a wide open leg channel. So it's Velcro. And in addition to being able to sort of move it around in terms of how low you want it to sit or how high you want it to sit, whether you want it further out or in, you can take it out entirely and give yourself a nice wide open, loose fitting pad with a big wide leg channel. So in or out, the opportunity is yours to change it. The new removable calf pillow, like I said, nice and thick, tapered, in the new Warrior G7 or out of the Warrior G7, however you prefer to wear it. Okay, continuing our look at the Warrior G7 pads. This is going to seem like a small thing, but if you've ever had a situation where you're trying to run two straps to the same spot, you know how nice this is. I love that Warriors taken, I guess, their version of the Professor strap, which has a lot of adjustability in terms of the length on the inside edge. But in addition to making it wrapped to the outer calf wrap, they've added loop Velcro on the back side of it. So you can take your elastic knee strap, which by the way, is back on Warrior pads for the first time in a decade. And rather than looking for another piece to attach to, you can go right over top of that Professor strap and run them without having to look for separate space. If you've ever run into the opposite, where you're looking for a place to put it, you know how big a deal this is. And they did it in the gloves too, on the backhand, when you're doing up the wrist strap. Instead of having the Velcro run out of room, these straps have loop Velcro on the back, so as you tighten it on this side, you can still place the other strap anywhere you want. Just one of those small little details added to various elements of the Warrior gloves and pads that make it that much better and that much easier to adjust. All right, we're starting to get some feedback on the Warrior G7. In particular, one of the more polarizing aspects of this pad, the hard plastic slide plate. If you listen to the In Goal Radio podcast, you heard Jeremy Smith talk about using it in the KHL. He called it like going from a wooden stick to a carbon fiber stick. Called it the next big thing. Said it takes wear and tear off his body the next day after a game because he doesn't have to exert himself as much because it slides so well. But we also talked to Trevor Gorsuch, who's been using Warrior pads in the ECHL. He said it was like riding a wild bronco, just too fast and too out of control for him to add it to his mix. We've had WHL goalies try it for us on the ice, testing it, and their feedback was it's fast, yeah, but not so fast that I felt out of control. At the beer league level, we were warned, make sure you warm up your groins, but it hasn't been a problem. There was still stability in this. The best of all though, it doesn't matter. If you think this is too fast, if you don't want to use it, just take it off. The hard plastic slide plate removes that easily. And as Gorsuch told us, because this is such a firm HD foam on the inner edge, this pad still slides exceptionally well, even without the controversial slide plate.